It's adjusting to an alternate life.
John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard just went through one of the worst tragedies imaginable.
It's growing around a permanent amputation.
And he's finally speaking out about what happened and how he's been dealing with it. John has been married more than once, but most recently, he was married to Alicia Allain Schneider, who sadly passed away when she was just 53 years old. This is something terrible that no husband should have to go through, but John seems to be finding his way through the tragedy. John and Alicia got married back in July 2019, but they had an interesting start to their time as a married couple, mostly because it wasn't technically legal. They got married in a small ceremony in the barn at John's studio in Holden, Louisiana. They said it was a marriage before God and not the law because of John's situation with his ex-wife. John was still sorting out some messy details of a 5-year-long divorce with his estranged former wife, Ellie Castle. So John and Alicia couldn't make things legally official just yet. Still, they loved each other enough that they didn't want to wait any longer. And they decided to make that special commitment. They figured they could make it legal after John's divorce got finalized. At the time, Alicia said it was a wonderful celebration and the barn felt like a sanctuary of their love. She said that it was a perfect day, getting to celebrate the moment with their closest friends and family. John was simpler in his thoughts, but just as overjoyed, saying that happy was too small of a word for what he was feeling. After exchanging their vows, they went outside where they danced together under the fireworks exploding in the sky. It sounds like something out of a fairy tale, but this fairy tale doesn't have a happy ending. In February 2023, Alicia, who was John's independent filmmaking partner in addition to his wife, sadly passed away at their home in Holden. She passed away from breast cancer after doing everything she could to fight for it as long as possible. She was just 53 at the time, which is so tragically young. She was a native of Bruce Lee, Louisiana, and also a music producer and hairstylist. John took to Facebook to share the sad news with the world as well as his thoughts and feelings at the time. He referred to Alicia as his smile and said that she was finally pain-free, living in her new body alongside Jesus. John asked his many fans for privacy in this impossibly trying time, but still encouraged people to post photos of him and Alicia in the comment section. That's so sweet that he wanted to be surrounded by images of her to help him remember the good times. John ended his post with a sweet thought to hug the ones you love tight and let them know how you feel. Life's short, and it's great that he was able to share that reminder and wisdom. And he lived by those words because according to John, that's something he always did with Alicia. John's Dukes of Hazzard co-star, Tom Wapat, who played Luke Duke, also shared his thoughts on social media. Tom said that he didn't get any details other than what the public already knew, but he didn't seem to grasp the severity of the situation. He said that he knew more than enough to be fully aware of the immense pain and loss that John must be experiencing. Tom sent his thoughts and prayers to John and encouraged all the Dukes of Hazzard fans around the world to do the same. Every little bit counts when you're trying to put healing energy into the universe. Tom concluded by saying that Alicia was a force in John's life as well as his career, and she'd be dearly missed. And Alicia really was a force in John's career. As a couple, they were prolific producers in their short time together. They produced movies including titles like Anderson Beach, Like Sun, Poker Run, and Christmas Cars. In addition to John, Alicia was survived by her daughter and some other relatives. When you lose someone who you depend on for love, companionship, and your career, it can leave a hole in your life and heart. But it seems like John has managed to find a way to get through it all. As incredibly difficult as it must have been, in an interview with People magazine, John revealed that he had always done his best to be honest with Alicia in the near decade that they had a relationship. But there was one instance when he suddenly felt like he had to tell her a lie, and that was in his final moments with her. In one of John's final conversations with Alicia, he told her that everything was okay. He said that if she was tired and wanted to go see her grandma as well as her grandpa, it was okay for her to go. He was giving her permission to let go in her final moments, which must have been hard to say, but according to John, that part was all true. it was what he said next that was a lie. John told her not to worry about him because he would be okay. While he was retelling the story for the interview, he broke down in tears. John revealed that he was lying when he said those words, but it was a lie that he felt like he had to tell. He suspected she was fully aware he wasn't being truthful and understood that his road to being okay was going to be a long one. But the last thing he said to her was nothing but the truth. John told her that he loved her desperately and he had multiple sets of long-term plans for her. He stands by those words because he believes eternity is a very long time and he's counting on seeing her again. Alicia was first diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2019 after a lesion was discovered during a routine dermatologist treatment. It was during the course of her treatment that she and John got married. Understanding that she was facing an uncertain future makes their marriage before God that much more meaningful. Things were looking good for Alicia, and she went into remission in 2020. But like so many cancer survivors have learned before, the illness never truly goes away. In December 2020, Alicia was involved in a race car crash that broke her back, and scans revealed her cancer had returned. To make things worse, it had metastasized to her bone. There were additional treatments and prolonged stays in the hospital, but nothing seemed to work. Honoring Alicia's wishes, John brought her home from the hospital to administer hospice care for her final days. Over the next 6 days, she was surrounded by loved ones until she passed away on February 21st, 2023. John was by her side through it all, but sadly wasn't present for her final breath. But according to John, that was no accident. He said the thing that has helped him through this grieving process was his certainty that Alicia waited for him not to be there to finally let go, because she knew he wouldn't be able to handle it. It was one final kind gesture, but Alicia didn't pass away alone. Her mother and father were by her side, along with her daughter and her daughter's fiance. John said he's grateful for the way it happened, but that doesn't mean saying goodbye was easy. He said that part of grief is the inability to fully accept what happened, and he still wakes up in the morning reaching for her, only to find nothing in his bed. That's so sad. He wishes it was all just some terrible dream, but it's an undeniable reality he's slowly being forced to come to terms with. John has continued to turn to the memories of the good times with Alicia to help him on his way. He said that they were always kindred spirits and made everything look easy. In his whole life, he never had a relationship where he didn't occasionally want to take at least a small break from his partner, but all that changed with Alicia, and John is doing his best to keep her legacy alive. Since her passing, he's continued to write daily messages to her on Facebook that he calls letters to heaven. That's so sweet. He also launched a clothing line called Alicia Wear, featuring things she used to say like love that and go do. It's all a way to keep her in his world and alive in a sense, since he won't let her be forgotten. He also plans to release an album with her in mind called We're Still Us, and he got a tattoo of her thumbprint on the part of his hand where it would rest when they held hands. He said looking at it is bittersweet, but it ultimately always makes him smile. Still, all the tributes and memories have been painful for John. Grief isn't a straight line. He said that he misses her every day and somehow loves her more every minute she's gone, which only makes him miss her more. He said that grief is like being pulled in two opposite directions at the same time. He wants the pain to go away, but he doesn't want to forget her at all. He wants to laugh, but when he does, he feels bad she's not there to laugh with him. John hopes that sharing his story about his own journey through grief, as well as how he's trying to preserve Alicia's legacy, will help others as they navigate similar sad situations. John said that as bad as it all hurts, he wouldn't trade 1 minute. He believes that heaven is real, and when he gets there, Alicia will be there to greet him. Until then, he'll just have to endure because that's what she would have wanted. And he only wants to spend the rest of his life doing what he can that would make her smile. So what do you guys think? Will John ever be able to truly be happy again? Let me know in the comments below.